So this is Trey Busch, winemaker extraordinaire, managing partner at Sleight in Walla Walla, Washington. There, what's going on in the vineyard? What do you got to talk to us about there, Trey?
What's going on out here? Well, not a whole lot right now. We actually are probably a couple of weeks away from bud break.
Okay.
I'm standing in one of our estate vineyards called Stony Vine, it's in Walla Walla, which is where the wine is located. We're in a sub-AVA of Walla Walla, which is called the Rocks District of Milton Freewater AVA. It became the AVA a couple of years ago, and it's one of the most unique in the country because of the soil series. I'm going to flip the phone around and just show you the soils on the ground. Well, this is all Syrah, and it's an old riverbed. So imagine the Walla Walla River used to run right through this valley, and over the course of hundreds of thousands of years, it just brought all this river rock down from the mountains into the valley and left this huge alluvial fan of river rock. And where I'm standing, depending on where I am in the vineyard, the rock is anywhere from 100 to 300 feet deep of basaltic cobbles. So I'm going to show you a photo of our head train vine here. And you can see the river rock. And, you can there as well, but that dirt just was all, it's either wind blown that came over from the Van Sickle Ridge, or the Van Sickle Ridge to the south. That wind, the wind brought it over and deposited it down in there. But this is like 95% basaltic cobbles where I'm standing right now. And that plays an important part of why the wines from this area taste the way they do.
So, of course, in the old world, when you think about got enough to pop and you think about the Rhone, of course, the gravel and the goblets come into huge play, knowing that they keep the vines warm at night, retain all that heat, of course, for trades and those things. What do you really say that makes a difference between the Syrah there and other parts of Washington?
Oh, that we're definitely different climates. The Rhone is a little cooler than where we are, Walla area, especially the Rocks District where I'm standing right now. Those rocks, in the summertime, you can't pick this rock up. If it's 100 degrees, it'll be 100 degrees here, 8 to 10 days of the summer. Average high in July and August is in the low 90s. And those rocks will get up to 100, 130, 140 degrees. So you can barely pick it up. So it definitely has a radiating factor. I think the vines shut down, when they get above they do shut down, when they get above a certain temperature. And so these rocks actually cool down much quicker than the actual dirt around it would. There's no capacity to hold heat in that rock. And so in the evening, you see a pretty big diurnal shift from daytime highs to nighttime lows down here, probably 30, 40 degrees at least.
That's fantastic. I really like that. And that's where most of the Syrah for the psychedelic comes from, right?
Yeah, the psychedelic's 100% estate right here. This is a bottle of the psychedelic Syrah right here. And kind of goes back to our love of vinyl. We played rock and roll records in our tasting room. So we kind of wanted that label to look like the old 60s, 70s concert posters from the Fillmore in San Francisco. And so it kind of has that same feel. But the psychedelic, it's completely different than any other wine we make. And it's all because of the soils. I mean, the wines that come out of here are very savory. They're meaty. They have that umami characteristic. It's like, fruit is like the 7th or 8th adjective that you actually get to when you're tasting wine from the rocks. It's all the savory notes.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about Rhone wines too. Is they tend to be more savory. And that's what I love about the Rocks District.
So Trey, right quick, and I will touch on that. When I was there over the summer, I think it was, I tasted with Taylor. The psychedelic blew me away. It was just like nothing but tobacco and saltiness and totally minerality. Right. Licorice. I mean, it was so cool. I was blown away by the wine. But I don't think we touched on a couple of things. And number one, the name of the winery is Sleight of Hand. And then every time I
Right.
usually think about Sleight of Hand, I think about Killer Juice, Killer Tunes, and a little bit of Black Magic. So can you explain to me where the name Sleight of Hand came from?
I will. I'm gonna have Jerry's hold me to the fire to make sure I tell the real story. This is a true story. When we started the winery back in 2007, that's one of the first things that's come up was a marketing campaign, and I had a bunch of different names, and I had one that was called Hand and Heart Winery or Hand and Heart Cellars. I thought this is really clever. It's two things that really go into making wine. You got the physical aspect, and you've got to have the passion and the heart to do it. But he didn't really have the heart to tell me he hated it. So instead, he came back to me and he handed me a list of like 5 Pearl Jam songs. And one of them was Sleight of Hand. And it's one of my favorite songs. And immediately I kind of thought about the imagery of what that, conjures in your head, Sleight of Hand. And so that's kind of how we came up with the name. So, Jerry was throwing me a bone with a bunch of Pearl Jam references, but also making sure we didn't call the winery Hand and Heart Cellars or whatever it was. So that's kind of how we came up with the name.
And it seems to have worked okay for you. I think you're doing some decent stuff.
It's been okay. Yeah. We have that magic theme. I mean, the magic labels. The term Sleight of Hand obviously, makes you think of that. And so we definitely gave a nod to the old vintage magic posters from the 30s and 40s. And that was, a lot of our labels are like that. But if you've been to the winery, you know what the feeling is. So.
Yeah, no, it's definitely one of my favorite wineries anywhere in the world to visit, just because it's such a cool vibe to go in there and just rock out, and then the juice is pretty damn awesome as well. So
right, good.
So you moved to you're originally from Georgia. You moved to Washington in 2000, I think, something like that. But you're a huge Pearl Jam fan. So did you actually move to Washington for the wine or for the music scene?
Well, I definitely moved to the music scene. I was actually dating a gal from Seattle at the time who I joined the Navy right out of high school, 18 years old, was stationed in Seattle, and then moved back to Athens, went to school at the University of Georgia. And the gal I was dating at the time wanted to move back home, and I missed Seattle, and the music scene was just about to blow up, and I missed the Athens music scene. I was too young for that. That was 80 to 84. I missed the New York punk scene from 77 to 80. I missed LA from 84 to 88. And so I'm like, all right, I'm not going to miss it. This is going to be my scene. I'm not going to miss it. And I really like the music from the area. And so I moved to Seattle, and that's when Pearl Jam was blowing up right then. So it was a fortuitous time to move there.
So how many shows have you seen?
Oh, who's counting? somewhere in the 80 show range.
No shit.
Sort of like that. It's like this band has very much a Grateful Dead following. That style, that very dedicated fans. It's like a family.
Do the guys from the band actually, have you met them? Do they drink Sleight of Hand? Because I know the wine.
Yeah, the wine business has allowed me to. I've met some of the band members and friends with a lot of people that work for the band. And last year, 2018, they played a show in Seattle called the Home Shows.
Yep.
And my winemaking friend Mark McNeely, from Mark Ryan Winery. Mm-hmm. We have a winery together called the Underground Wine Project, separate from either of our own wineries. And we were asked to make wine for the band to basically sell, and we raised a bunch of money for the home shows. So we raised about $70,000.
That's awesome.
It went back to their big initiative for Seattle homelessness and stuff like that. So it was pretty cool.
So getting back to your Georgia roots, if I had to choose between onions, Walla Walla or Vidalia?
Oh man, that's a tough one. I love Walla Wallas. I ate my lion's share of Vidalia onions when I was a kid. My dad used to, he had his grandmother's cast iron skillet, and he would chop up, half a dozen Vidalias and throw them in there with a stick of butter and slow cook them for a couple of hours until they were just these crispy, black, sweet.
Oh yeah, yeah.
No, they were so good. So I give it to Vidalias only because of the memory.
Yeah, exactly. So, do you cook a lot? What's your favorite thing to cook, and what's the best thing you make that goes with your wines?
Oh, I really don't cook a lot. I live in a town with 6 really incredible restaurants, and it's really funny. We've been cooking at home with what's going on right now, and I've got a chef buddy named Andre, and he made a joke the other day about, now it's time for all these home chefs to get reviewed by chefs like Yelp.
Yeah.
And so on my Facebook page, I got 3 days in a row of me sending him a picture of what we made for dinner. And then Andre writes the most ridiculous fake Yelp review.
That's awesome.
And, it's actually pretty funny, So
yeah. No, I've got a lot of chef friends. I got a lot of chef friends on my Facebook doing the same thing to me, so it's going widespread.
Right.
What is a fact that nobody would know about you, or some hidden talent that has nothing to do with wine?
I am a world famous air guitar player.
You're a world famous air guitar player. Is this something you hide in at home, or something you do in public?
Oh, I have no problem doing that in public. Yeah. A lot of the parties that we throw at the winery, they usually end up in a kind of a karaoke-ish atmosphere by the end of the evening.
Mm-hmm.
I'll pull out an air guitar anytime, any place.
So we're supposed to actually bring a tour to see you guys and 7 other wineries sometime this year. If we come to the winery, shall we expect the total air guitar show from start to finish?
I've got like 7 or 8 air guitars you can borrow.
Oh,
everybody can join in.
I like to do acoustic. Is that all right?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, you bet. Well, we could do the Pearl Jam Unplugged album if you want.
That'd be awesome. So, a minute ago, you touched on the pandemic and everybody staying at home and whatnot. And It's a horrible time. But, we're doing this recording to give people something to check out and look forward to. How is it affecting Sleight of Hand? How's this affecting you guys' business? I'm sure the tasting room is closed. I mean, what's going on?
This weekend is supposed to be one of our busiest weekends of the year. Cayuse release weekend, one of the most famous wineries in Washington. They only open 1 weekend a year for all their members, and they come down to Walla Walla, and we usually get a ton of business from that. And so, we're definitely missing that retail, direct-to-consumer business face-to-face in our tasting room. But, we're engaging on social media. We've been very active with our newsletters. We've got shipping specials, and we're doing what we can to stay connected. We're doing Facebook Live tasting of current vintage wines, giving people an opportunity to buy them ahead of time if they want to, if they don't already own them.
Mm-hmm.
Free shipping, things of that nature. So retail business, from my understanding, is very strong in the market. People are obviously drinking a shit ton because, who knows what's next. So
what else are you going to do?
Right, exactly. So, but restaurant sales are an important part of our business, and we're obviously missing that. So, but we'll adapt and we'll survive and make sure we're strong on the back end of it. So,
yeah. So obviously people can go to the website and check out the wine club, get free shipping, which is a killer deal.
Right.
You guys also do something that is really unique, and which I've fallen in love with, is of course with the music influence. You have all these cool swag and T-shirts that have all these triple wine stuff. Do you have anything like that you can show the folks?
I did. I brought our dark Side of the Merlot T-shirt. Hold on, I'm gonna set the phone down and I'll hold it up here. So our love of albums and vinyl. All of our T-shirts are rock and roll themed, and they're basically riffs off of album covers. And so this is our Dark Side of the Merlot
T-shirt, and then on the back it's got the tour. So the tour these are our pick dates for the vintage. So if you look at it, it's got, summer tour 2018, and then it starts with the very first pick date, 8/30/18 Prince Creek Chardonnay, all the way down to our last pick. So we used to do a couple T-shirts a year. Now we're down to about one a year, and we'll do them right after harvest once we have all our picks in. But again, you can go into any wine gift shop and go buy a golf shirt if you want.
Yeah, exactly.
Or a golf hat or whatever, or a goofy wine calendar. I don't know. And then fine, but you can get them anywhere. So it's like, okay, what are we going to do that, it may not be for everybody, but it's going to differentiate us enough to where someone's going to walk out there and remember us, whether they like it or not, but they're going to remember us. So,
well, there's enough winery and cat and dog calendars out there anyway in books, so we appreciate that.
There's plenty, yeah.
See my shirt, it's my Heathen Wine Tours shirt, but on the back, and I'll probably go out of focus.
Yeah.
Tour dates. And so basically,
oh, there we go.
We do the tour dates every year, and if you go on one of the tours, you get this as one of my swag gifts at the end of the year. So it's a collector's item only if you went on a tour last year.
I love it. So, and you said, did you say that you're actually going to be coming out in the fall? Is that the plan?
Well, we were supposed to bring a group out in June, so obviously that's a little up in there. Probably not going to happen. But maybe we'll just reschedule and try to get out there sometime around harvest or whatever, and get
harvest would be great. We could use the free labor.
Yeah, trust me, the labor I bring, dude.
We do with our Rhone program, our Syrahs and our Grenaches, we foot crush almost everything. So
we've done 3 tours this year, 4 tours this year. We just came back from Chile and did some picking down there. But we in Portugal and Spain last year, we were foot crushing and hand crushing everything and picking.
Oh, fun!
Cool. Yeah,
it's so fun, right? Yeah, people love that stuff. So
yeah, so awesome. So I know you've got to get back to work. I had one more question for you. We talked about the wine club. We talked about the T-shirts and all that stuff. Is it true that if people go online right now and buy 2 cases, that you will actually take them to a Pearl Jam concert, back tour acts?
I wish it was that easy to get tickets, man. If I could get tickets listen, even with 2 cases of wine, let me do the full retail on that. That's not even going to cover a StubHub ticket, man.
That's all I can afford right now, dude. That's what I was looking for. Awesome. Well, I've taken enough of your time. I appreciate it. Killer information.
No problem, man.
Anything else we need to know?
I don't think so. I got a Facebook Live tasting on the 11th of April at 5 o'clock my time, 5 o'clock Pacific Coast. So it's 5 o'clock, I think, East Coast time, on our Sleight of Hand Cellars Facebook page.
Cool.
And if you go to that page, I also have a link. You have to scroll down some of the posts, but I made a pandemic playlist of about 200 songs, and it's really good. So it's on Spotify, but it's really good. So if you want to listen to some tunes and stuff, and lots of different styles of music on there too, but it's pretty funny.
Killer. So break open a Magnum and go to it. Just forget the headphones and go.
What else you gonna do, man?
All right, brother. I appreciate the time. Thanks a lot. Hopefully we'll get to see you for harvest this year.
I hope so too, buddy. Thanks for the phone call.
Cheers, man. Thank you.